Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who is hanging out live tonight. And thank you so much to everyone who is watching the replay. I'm excited to spend some time together, answer some questions, and chat about whatever is on your mind. So let's start with our first question. What are you drinking? If you are here live tonight, let me know down in the comments what you're drinking. And if you are part of the replay fam, I know some of you have left comments that you can't ever make them live because you always have a conflict, that you always catch the replay. And I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Let us know when you're watching and what you're drinking. I actually have 2 drinks with me tonight. I'm not quite done with my water. This is my last bit of water. So once I finish this, I'm done. So I brought this with me to have it. I realized last week I was kind of mad at myself for not bringing my water in here. And then I also have a cup of tea. I signed up for a course that literally starts right when this is over. And so I wanted to have, it's English breakfast. I wanted to have a smidge of caffeine to get me through that. So that is what I am drinking. Let me know down in the chat what you are drinking. Jessica's got nothing. Hello from Finland. Hi. Oh my gosh, what time? I feel like it's got to be pretty late there. I feel like it's got to be pretty late. Water. Yes. Yes. You got to get that water in. It is amazing how impactful drinking more water can be in so many areas of your life. It's like not even about weight loss. It is just all of the areas of life that drinking more water improves. And I am trying to get back up to it. I was definitely not hitting my water goals for a while there. So I'm working on getting back up to it. Ooh, pineapple kombucha. I've never had kombucha that I actually enjoy drinking, to be honest, but I do love pineapple anything. Like if there's a pineapple flavored cocktail on a menu, it's usually like my first choice. If we have some more water, hot chocolate with an Easter bunny marshmallow, Loretta. I love that. I love that. Making use of those leftover Easter candy, Easter marshmallows. All right, let me know, what questions do you guys have? What do you want to chat about tonight? What is on your mind? What are you thinking about? Let's check out the temperature of this tea here. The mug still feels really hot. I don't want to burn my tongue, but oh no, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good temperature. I'm not taking like a big gulp, but I can definitely sip on it. So let me know what questions you have. Ooh, peach nectarine water. I also love the flavor of peach. That sounds really good. Ooh, Elizabeth, I love that you are multitasking and walking outside. I always love to hear about those of you who are multitasking, whether it's getting some fitness, some movement in, or you're cleaning, or you're cooking dinner, whatever it is that you might be doing. Oh, Ariana, what do you suggest when it gets to be Wednesday or Thursday and you realize you haven't worked on your goals at all? So I don't know. You can let me know specifically in the comments. Are you talking about daily habits and like it's Wednesday or Thursday and you haven't even started them? Or are you talking about like other goal type things that you haven't even started working on? Because I think for daily habits, for me, it depends on the habit. And this is a mindset shift that I am definitely still working on, but getting out of that mindset where I have to wait for a new week. I have to wait till the following Monday. Now, if it is a habit that I'm only trying to do on weekdays and it's already Thursday and I still haven't done it, probably going to push it and wait until Monday and do it on that day. If it is a habit that I'm trying to do every single day, and especially if it's only like a Wednesday, I'm going to try to do it. And I'm going to try to pick back up and start again. And one of the keys to doing that is making it smaller. So whatever that goal is, whatever that habit is that you're trying to implement, can you make it smaller so that it doesn't feel as overwhelming the next day? If it is just like goals in general, like it's just a busy week and it's Wednesday or Thursday and you haven't done anything, not a big deal. Just pick one thing that you want to try and get in before the end of the week and make sure that you prioritize making time for that one thing. And then you will still make progress this week and let everything else go. Oh yes, the simplified covers got released today. If you are a simplified planner fan, they have 6 new covers for their new planner launches. I do love the simplified planner paper and I love the covers. I think that they're beautiful. I just have never found a use for their planners. The daily planner is hourly, but not half hours. So I don't need it for personal life. I don't need an hourly for personal, and I need half hours for work. So I've never really figured out a way to use their products, but they are beautiful. And I do admire Emily Lay immensely and the company in general. I mean, I love her books and her podcasts and other things. I just have never really used the planners themselves. Courtney, great question. Will you add another yearly goal if you finish your home goal? No. My prep work is what it was in December. And those are the 6 things I wanted to focus on this year. And if and when I get to check one of those off earlier than December 31st, I am just going to take advantage of that extra time and that extra mental capacity and emotional capacity and all the other things that it frees up for me, and just focus on my other goals. And it's going to allow me to really prioritize other goals, since that one will already be set in stone, which I'm really excited about. Ooh, cooking dinner. What is your ideal pizza? So my favorite toppings on pizza are sausage. I don't know. I love sausage, and mushrooms and onions. Like, so sausage, mushroom, onion is like my ideal go-to pizza. Sam and I will usually just get like a mushroom and onion pizza when we order here, just because depending on the restaurant, you never know if a sausage is going to be good. Like, if it's going to be worth having the sausage on the pizza. So we will just typically get like a mushroom and onion pizza, but I also like pretty much anything. I like meat lovers. I like pretty much anything on pizza. I like pizza. This is a great question. What is your biggest tip on goal setting and achieving this late in the year and not from the start of the year? First off, it is not too late. It is not even close to being too late. There is still almost 9 full months left in 2021, and that is so much time. So my tip here is just to keep that in mind when you're setting your goals. I could absolutely still set all 6 of my annual goals right now and ignore if I hadn't made any progress on them so far this year, and I could still make immense progress by the end of the year. Is it going to be the same as it was if I started on January 1st? No, because I wouldn't have those first 3 months, but I could absolutely still start them today and still make significant progress on them. So don't feel like it's too late. That's not really a tip so much as like just like a mindset to think about, like that it is not too late. My tip is, when you're setting your goals, just keep that in mind. You're not losing out on that much time, right? It's only 25% of the year. That is still a lot of time. So just keep that in mind when you're setting your goals. Maybe be slightly more realistic with some of the timelines, but definitely don't feel like it's too late. And if you feel like you want to have less goals because of that, I think that's great too. Like, maybe instead of 6 annual goals, I would have only done 5 if I was starting them right now. But you definitely can still start them. This is a great question. Tips for being productive after getting home from work. You're a high school teacher and you're full-time with students. So first off, I don't think that my exhaustion when I got home from my full-time job can even remotely compare to what you probably feel when you get home from work. The amount of effort and standing and talking and corralling even high schoolers that you likely do on a given day is way more physical and mental effort than I put in sitting at a desk most of the day, even when I was physically going into work. So that said, I will tell you what worked for me. But if this does not work for you because you likely are much more exhausted than I was at the end of the day, then please feel free to be like, that doesn't work for me. So for me, I need like a transition. I need a compression time. I needed like things that I did once I got home that turned me from work Laken to home Laken. So when I was working in the office, that was changing out of my work clothes. It was unpacking my work backpack and putting things away. It was lighting a candle to like, I'm signifying that I'm home. It was snuggling with Charlie for a little bit on the couch. It was sitting there and scrolling my phone because I just got off the subway and didn't have the internet for however long on the subway. It was those kinds of things that I did when I first got home. And I just gave myself that time. It was usually about 30 minutes from the time that I walked in the door that I was like, you have 30 minutes to just transition and do whatever you want before it's time to like do something productive. Whether that thing, for me, it was mostly going into cooking dinner at that point, but for you, you might get home a little bit earlier, so it might not be that time yet. And then the other thing that I would do is I would have a one thing. The one thing each evening, and I usually aim for it to take about an hour. And that was the one thing that I wanted / needed to do on that night after I got home from work. Once I did that one thing, if I still had energy, great. I could keep going and maybe do other things. If I did that one thing and I was tired and just wanted to lay around and do nothing for the rest of the evening, then I laid around and did nothing. I used to try and schedule every single hour from the time that I walked in the door from work until the time that I closed my eyes to go to sleep. And that did not last long enough. Like I burned out. It was exhausting. And then I would want to do nothing on the weekends. And I'd feel guilty if I didn't do all the things that I had planned during the week. You know what I mean? So transition period and pick one thing. Do you have any other routines in your routinery besides your morning, evening, and communication? So those are the only ones that I have talked about because those are the only ones that I've consistently done for an extended period of time. I have added a couple new routines into my routinery app that once I feel like they're a little bit more solidified, I will share them with the world. I've tried other ones before and then taken them out, and I feel I don't want it to sound like, oh, I have all these routines in my app and then next week I might change my mind. So I have some in there now, but I am still kind of working through it. Those are the 3 that I consistently do all the time. And by the way, I have a separate morning routine for the weekend than I do for the weekdays, if that helps. Oh, I am so excited for you, Lisa, to do a 40 and 40s. And feel free to make them smaller, or, 40 is a lot of things to get done in a decade, especially if you have children. And given by your screen name, I'm assuming that you have at least 3, if not, I'm assuming that's right, the party of 5, if you have a spouse, 3 children. So 40 might be a lot unless you make them a little bit smaller. Like some of mine are pretty extensive, but then some of them are pretty easy, like get married. Yes, my luggage is away. I love, love, love. It was an engagement present from a friend. I was already researching and like thinking that I wanted it, and I mentioned it to her. She's one of those friends that like you can't tell her anything that you actually want because then we'll show up at your doorstep the next day. So a gift card to Away showed up at my email inbox the next day. And so I went and she sent me to get the large one, a gift card for the large one, and then I ended up getting the small one too. I love it. I love, love, love it. Do I have a favorite Peloton class now that I have the bike? My favorite class is still the Hamilton class, the first one. I think there's a second one now. I could be wrong about that. The OG Hamilton class is still one of my go-to rides when I don't know what to pick or I need something to really get me excited. There's 2 things that I love to have in a spin, or I need really to have in a spin class to really get me motivated. One is the playlist. Has to be something that I'm super excited about, and that Hamilton ride playlist is like all of my favorite songs from Hamilton. Number 2 is I like the cadence to go to the beat of the music. I understand we got to speed up sometimes. I understand there's got to be some like little, races, but for the most part, I want our cadence to be the beat of the music. That motivates me. And so I did the Wicked ride recently, and don't get me wrong, I love Wicked, and the song selections were great, and I love Leanne, and I love Wicked. But that ride didn't get me as pumped because most of the riding wasn't to the beat of the music. And that's fine because the Wicked music is kind of all over the place and it's kind of hard to do that. But it's not one that I'm going to probably pick again. So I still go to that Hamilton class. That's like my go-to. Hello from San Antonio. I'm from the northwest side of town. Lynn I'm assuming, I don't fully understand your question. The mirror is here. It's hung behind me, which I love. Oh my gosh, getting ready in that mirror is the absolute best. I'm in a rut with work, love my job, but just can't get into productive mode. Tips on work productivity. For me, it's like a timer and a break. So it's set a 20-minute timer, power through, and then take a 2-minute break. It's power through, take a break. Making a list of the things I need to get done. Having a daily planner for work where I turn the page to a fresh start every day and plan out my day going into the day was key for me when we transitioned to working from home. I hope that helps. What is something that you've done that was harder than you thought? I mean, I'm not done with it, so I don't know if it counts, but wedding planning is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. And I think also from a like my excitement level of actually planning it, and this could 1000% be the pandemic is making me less excited about the wedding planning, even though like everything should be fine by spring of next year, but it's still just, I'm not excited. And I have one of my bridesmaids is also engaged and she's getting married 2.5 months after us. And she sent out an email over the weekend, like with a questionnaire for her bridal party. And I was like, you are so much further along and you're getting married after us. And we've been engaged for 2 years longer than you. Like, it was just not 2 years, I guess a year. We got engaged a year before them. It was just like, I'm not excited about it. So it feels harder than I thought it was going to feel. I thought it was going to be. What is something people are missing out on because they don't know about it yet? Okay. You gave an example of food, an edible example. So I will also do that. There's a company called Albanese, and I will link it when I'm done. And it is located in Northwest Indiana, but you can order online, and they have the best gummy bears you will ever have in your entire life. They are large. They are the perfect balance of soft, but not too soft. And there are 14 amazing flavors, not your basic gummy bear flavors. And they're the best. They're the best gummy bears in the entire universe. And I highly recommend that you order them online. I think online you can only order like a 5-pound bag, but I promise you, you're going to love it. Every year I buy a 5-pound bag. This was the first year I didn't do it because I wasn't quite sure about the sanitariness of the situation. Normally what I do for the holidays is I buy that 5-pound bag, and I have those little cellophane bags with little reindeer on them. And I split it up for all of my siblings and all of the men, like males in my life, like grandparents, grandfathers, uncles, dads, etc. And it's the best. It is like a super crowd pleaser. They're the best. So Abby, I will talk about this a little bit more in my goals video going up this Monday, my April goals video. Right now, I am doing a combination of both the videos and lives with the Fit Club, which is the workout that I have been doing, and the Peloton. Basically what I'm doing is I'm swapping out the Peloton for any cardio that's part of her program, doing her strength classes, still doing the lives when it's a theme that I love, like today's lunchtime bar was Legally Blonde, and you best believe I did that class live. And then I also am working on upping my workout total time to 45 minutes. So I will add in like a short, that's one of the things I love about the Peloton. They have like 10, 15-minute classes. So if she has a 25-minute strength class is on the schedule for that day, I will do that 25-minute strength class and then like a 20-minute Peloton class. That's what I've been doing literally for 3 days, y'all. Okay. That's the April plan. I've been doing it for 3 days. So just I needed to caveat that. I got them from Amazon. They were like $12. Yeah. I think they're linked in my Amazon shop, which is in the description. If they're not, I will make sure to add them afterwards, but I love them. It is right now, it doesn't feel as necessary. Like, so I finally got them hung up, and I filled out May and June, and there's like nothing on the calendar for May and June because that's how we are right now. But I love just being able to see the dates and the days of the week. And even today on a work call, we were talking about like the 5th business day of May. And I immediately was like, oh, well, I can immediately see what day of the week that is. And it was just the best. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment, or the thing you were the most proud of so far in your life? I feel like my answer to this changes. I feel like somebody's asked me this before, and I feel like I had a different answer. For me, it's living in New York for almost 8.5 years. I was not one of the people that grew up thinking I'm going to move to New York. I did not think I was going to be here this long. I did not think I was going to love it. I did not think I was going to be able to live like the way that I live in New York. Like New York is expensive, y'all. And so the fact that I've lived here for this long and here I am sitting in a 3-bedroom apartment, obviously I split expenses with Sam, but it's just, I don't know. Just when I tell people that I live in New York and now when I tell them I have a 3-bedroom apartment in New York, that makes me feel very proud. I don't know if that's my biggest, that's the one that I think of today right now. What is my favorite holiday? My favorite holiday is Halloween, when Halloween is like normal Halloween. Yes, you can sometimes find Albanese at little random places. Grocery stores, gas stations sometimes carry the little small packs. But if you don't want to work on hunting them, just go to the website. Yeah, sometimes they carry them at Marshall's, TJ Maxx. I don't know how I feel about like those. Like how long have those been there? Or how did they end up there is my question. Yes. Now the chocolate is also great. Candy in general. Okay. So they have lots of good candy. My favorite non-gummy bear thing from Albanese, it's a peanut coated with peanut butter with a thick layer of chocolate. So it's as if a peanut M&M and a Reese's had a baby, and they are amazing if you like those two things. Oh, Brianne, that is very tough. That's tough. The lockdown depression. 1, get outside, like get fresh air, get vitamin D, get out of your physical space. Give yourself, I don't like to say the phrase grace. I feel like we need another phrase for this, but let yourself feel what you need to feel. If there's a day that you just want to order takeout, even though you plan something else, do it. If there's a day that you just need to lay around and watch Netflix, do it. Like, it is so much more mentally taxing than any of us ever thought it could be. Like somebody forcing you to stay at home, like that to some people sounds like a dream. And it can be for a certain period of time, but at this point it's a lot. So give yourself the permission to do what you need to do and not feel like you have to be 100% in every area of your life because this is something that you're going through right now. I know that's not really a tip to fight. Well, it can, because if you give yourself that permission and that like space to do what you need to do, it'll help you not put yourself down as much, I think. Oh, that sounds really cool, Abby. I'll have to check it out. Fabulous. Oh gosh, app creation is not likely something that I don't know. I never say never. I say that about everything that I ever get asked, right? Do you want to make a planner? Do you want like all these things? Never say never. Right now, that is not on my even my long-term dreams list, right? I have like my plan with Laken things I have to do tomorrow. I have the things I want to accomplish this year. And then I have like the things I want to do in 2+ years. That's not even on that list right now. And the biggest reason that, and same with planners, whatever, is as long as there's a tool that somebody else has created and somebody else's brain did a great job of creating works for me, then I don't feel the need to go create something else. Even if there is something slight that I would change about it, like there are a couple of things I would change about the Routinery app, but that feels so like, that's not my idea. That's the Routinery app with some Laken twist to it. So as long as there's something that works for me, I don't feel the need to go recreate the wheel and make something slightly different because I have ideas of how to make it slightly different. That said, never say never. Jessica, was it Sam's birthday? No, it's that same bridesmaid best friend of mine who lives in New York that I was talking about. It's her 30th is May 14th. That's the one thing I had marked in May, is her 30th birthday. Really want to find a nutritionist, but so overwhelmed. So I got lucky and found mine as somebody who I used to use for physical fitness and like physical health. And she just happened to get certified to be a nutrition coach. I would ask like friends and family who have used one in the past, maybe go through your insurance, see if they have any recommendations. It also depends on what you're looking for. I was not necessarily looking for a registered dietitian, or yeah, that's what it's called, a registered dietitian. I was looking for something different. partially because the cost is different and partially because I knew that that's not necessarily what I needed. Again, everybody is different. So it also kind of depends on what you're looking for. Oh, hello from Mexico. I'm kind of jealous. I would love to go down there and hang out with you. Any tips on getting back into an early morning routine after daylight savings? Yeah. So I'm assuming, or I guess that your morning routine was in the light and now it's in the dark. My first thing for you is it's not going to be in the dark forever, right? Every day you're getting closer to it being in the light. And maybe you are so early that it'll never be in the light. I have actually bumped mine up. Now I'm getting up at 5. And so like, it'll never be light out and that's just okay. One of the things that I have loved is I have automatic lamps now. And so this lamp and the lamp in the living room turn on before I even get out of bed. And so when I get out of bed, the lights are already on and I'm like, great, it's time to wake up. It's time to like start my day. My other tip in general about getting back into a morning routine after anything derails you, because a lot of things can derail you besides just daylight savings, is just inch your way back. Instead of being like, well, I used to get up at 5, but if you're consistently getting up at 7 now because of whatever reason, just turning it on to 5 a.m. tomorrow is going to last a day or two. You're going to be so much better off if you jump it back to 6:45 and do that for a couple days, then 6:30 and do that for a couple days and do it like over time as opposed to 1 hour, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that she is 6 months. I feel like you had her yesterday. It's just crazy. Yeah, that's super tough. This is a great question. What are you looking forward to doing while still working from home, or are you over it and just want to get back to normal? I think the only reason I want to go back to work is because my commute now is a walk now that we live in the same neighborhood as my office. And I think that that's really exciting. But at the end of the day, no, I'm not over it. And I would love to just stay at home forever. Right now, I'm loving the ability to do laundry in the middle of the day and not like differently than I did before. Obviously, I could always do that because it was in the basement, but it's much easier when it's in my apartment. So that's what I'm loving right now. There's nothing right now. It's just about having my own space. And that has made working from home exciting again, is having my own office and not having to share it with the bedroom and be 6 feet from Sam. Like, do you guys hear that? That silence, that there's nothing. You can't even hear him. It's the best. So yeah. I'm not over it. My baseball fan. No, that's like, I can't really get into baseball. I do love sports. I talk about sports a lot. I love football. I love basketball. I just don't, I don't know. Baseball is very boring to me. Even in person, baseball is very boring to me. So I will usually I'll go in person because it's fun. And a lot of stadiums are nice now and have lots of like good food and drink options. And I will sometimes watch in the summer between the end of basketball season and the start of football season if there's nothing else to do, which this summer there's the Olympics. So like, I don't even really need, and this summer also the NBA season literally ends the day before the Olympics start because it got pushed back because it started late. So like the NBA season will end and football or the Olympics will start and then the Olympics will end. And I don't even think there's going to be a lag between the Olympics and football season. So I don't even think I'm going to end up watching any baseball this season. Yeah. If I had to cheer for a team, no, I don't. I can't even really do that. My family's all over the place. I've got family that are both Cubs and Sox fans in Chicago. And then my Texas family, I've got both Rangers and Astros. So like, I don't even care. I don't even know. Heidi, great question. Will you be offering the exact same goals class later in the year, or are you going to have mini versions? No, it's going to be the exact same month-long course. It's only 4 modules and it's 1 month. And so I don't feel like it's that long. So no, we are going to be doing the exact same course, maybe coming sooner than you think. I'm waiting for one piece of information to finalize the dates. Where's my favorite place to buy clothes, both the nicer and COVID loungewear? I love Old Navy. Everything on my body right now is old, except for my bra, is Old Navy. For both like loungewear as well as workout clothes, as well as like, I love their dresses for like, not really work. I don't really get any work clothes from Old Navy. Maybe a couple like sweaters, cardigans that I wear over dresses, but that's pretty much it. For work clothes, I like Ann Taylor, Banana, J. Crew, but I go to the outlets to shop at those stores. I never shop at the full price locations. If you could only pay for one personal development membership, what would it be? So I have two answers, which I know is not your question, but just two things. One is either one that focused strictly on mindset, because 9 times out of 10, that's the issue. The how-to is not the problem. You know how to do the things, you know how to accomplish the goals. It's the mindset. The other, or this path, is something really specific. It's the same answer I give when I get the question, what book should I read? My book recommendation is dependent on your goal. What's your goal? That should be your book recommendation. Same thing. Invest in a personal development membership that goes with your specific goal. Now, that said, I also think that my accountability Patreon goal setting membership is fantastic, but that one is more about community and accountability with each other, and then a little bit more access to me. It is not, it's not about, like, I'm not necessarily teaching you things. So if you're going for something that has more of a teaching aspect, then get specific on your goals. Heather, that makes me so happy. Have I gone to Trader Joe's yet? Yeah, I've gone a couple of times. I forgot how inexpensive Trader Joe's is because I've been shopping at other grocery stores for the last year, and it's amazing. It's amazing how inexpensive it is and all the good things. And so our freezer is much smaller than our old freezer. And so I cannot get all of the same freezer things I would like to get from Trader Joe's, but I do love it. Will we be getting any new kitchen gadgets? Is our kitchen bigger? It's not really bigger. It's basically, in terms of cabinet and storage space, it's basically identical. The only thing that makes it slightly bigger is, well, there's two things. One is that there is space for a kitchen table, which we haven't built yet because Wayfair shipped it without hardware. So that's annoying. So we have space for a kitchen table. That's different. And then the microwave is actually mounted up in the cabinets like a microwave normally is, whereas in our old apartment, it wasn't like that. So we had to have it on the counter and we lost counter space for the microwave. That's not true anymore. We gained counter space that way. So we do have more counter space, but we don't really have any more storage. The only new gadget we're going to get is because Sam has been begging for this since Christmas. And I told him that he had to wait till after we moved because we were trying to move less objects. And that is a rice cooker to go with his walk. That's the only new gadget that we're going to get. Jessica, yes, my phone still sleeps in here, even though I use the Hatch as my alarm clock. Yeah. Any tips to stay motivated to stick with exercise goals? You'll pick the days, but then if you're too tired or find an excuse, you won't do it. So couple things. One is maybe that's not the best time to be doing it. Could you be doing it in the morning or during lunch? I obviously don't know what you do, so that might not be an option for you, but that would be my first reaction is maybe after work is not the answer for you. It is rare that I have the energy to work out after work, so I know that that's not going to be my norm, so I'm not going to schedule that because it's likely it just wouldn't happen. My other tip is to start with smaller goals. So less number of days per week, shorter workouts. To the point, again, that it feels, I say this a lot, but it feels silly, right? So if you say I'm going to work out for 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, you're looking at me like, Laken, that's only 30 minutes a week. That's not going to change my life. No, and neither really, to be honest with you, with 90 minutes or 180 minutes. Like, working out is important, but it is only a small piece of a weight loss goal. So even if you're working out for other reasons, you are better off starting smaller, 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, doing that for a week or two, but feeling really good about it and feeling that momentum and that motivation. And then, okay, the next week I'm going to do 15 minutes. Okay, the next week I'm going to do 20 minutes until you build it up to the time. Okay, now I'm going to go from 3 days to 4 days. And yes, it's frustrating to take all that time. You're like, it's going to take me months to build up to what I want to. Yeah, it is. But when you build up to it like that, you are going to stick with it once you get there. Versus if you try to jump into it right now, you're not going to stick with it, clearly. Could I do a budget video? I have done a budget video on how I budget, like what spreadsheet I use and like the process that I go through. I don't have any intentions of doing another one. There is a lot of great budgeting content out there. Jen Plans has a lot of budgeting content. Shay Budgets is a great place to go for budgeting info. Who else does like budget videos? There's a lot more people who that is their area of expertise, and they would be way better suited to help you than I would. What apps do I use to edit photos? So if it is a person photo, I just use the iPhone edit options. I have, my go-to things that I go to, and that's it. If it is a planner photo, I use an app called Pick Tap Go. I'm not super fancy. I'm not going into Photoshop or like, I'm not adjusting certain colors. I'm not cutting people out of pictures. Like, it's pretty basic. And if it's a professional photo, I don't do anything. I just upload it. Heather, was there a specific time or purchase that made you feel like an adult? Getting stuck in an airport, getting excited about a vacuum. Not that I can think of. Not off the top of my head, but that's a funny question. Is my app the Done app? No, I use an app called Routinery. That's my go-to routine app. I'm assuming that's what you're asking about. Do you miss your weekly planning? Even without sharing with us, do you miss the stickers and creativity? Amanda, no. I don't miss the weekly planning, for sure. I don't miss it. I don't miss feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't spend time on Sunday setting this up, then my whole week isn't off to a great start. Even though I do make adjustments in my Google Cal, and I try to do that on Sundays, if I haven't done it, I don't wake up Monday feeling overwhelmed. Whereas if I didn't plan in a weekly planner when I was in a weekly planner, by Monday morning, I felt overwhelmed and not prepared. I do miss the stickers and creativity sometimes. That is what my memory planning is supposed to do for me, which I am really behind. But I also feel like doing my memory keeping and my Allie Edwards projects, that kind of fulfills that aspect for me as well. So no, not really. Sorry. Does the Sharpie marker come in a 0.7? Linda, it does come in a larger size. I have not tried it yet, but somebody did. I'm with you. I love the Papermate Flare, and if that's the pen I could use, I would use it, but I don't. That's why I use the Sharpie pen. Am I using VEC wedding planner? I'm not using any wedding planner right now. Right now, step one, I'm not really doing anything related to the wedding. I told myself we needed to move and get settled, and then I would jump back into wedding planning. But I also like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not really all that excited about it right now. And then B, I was just using a spreadsheet. I have 4 planners. They're all under the desk right now. And I don't know. I'm not excited about any of them. So I don't know. Here's some more budget options. Romina Vasquez, budget videos, and the Budget Mom for budget videos. Yes, good options. Any travel recommendations for Oahu? Jenny, I have never been to Hawaii. I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. And then we ended up on the topic of Siesta Key in Florida, which is just the best sand ever. And I was like, I bet that is the most beautiful beach in the continental United States, because I can't even say this United States because I bet Hawaii's beaches are more beautiful. I just have never been there. But I do love Siesta Key. What am I reading right now? And have I read anything recently that I really enjoyed? I don't have anything that I feel like I really need to recommend to you. Right now, for fiction, I'm reading, it's called After I Do. The other day, I was feeling kind of in a slump. I was reading a fiction book I didn't really like, and I only had one other fiction book that I owned, and I wasn't excited about that either. And so I went into my Goodreads and I went to the fiction, and I just picked the first couple, and I went to the library and I put them on hold, and this was the first one that was available. It's good so far. I don't know. I'm not that far into it. And then nonfiction wise, I'm still getting through Decluttering at the Speed of Life. I did listen to it while I was packing, but I want to actually finish reading the actual book that I checked out from the library. So I'm still working on that. And then I'm also reading, it's right here, so I'm gonna grab it. I'm reading The Cozy Minimalist Home. This, I got it from the library, but I jumped it up in my list so that I could read this as we're decorating. And this is good. I'm still in kind of the background phase. I don't know, I'm pretty far into it, but I feel like I'm not into the here's how to yet. I'm still in the background info, which I get that, right? I get it when you're telling a story. I have this as part of my presentations and workshops that I do too. The background takes way more time than the actual how to because I got to set it all up. So I feel like I'm still in the setup phase of that book, and I really want to get to the how to action steps. So that's why I'm not that excited about it yet, but that's what I'm reading right now. What's your recommendation for no bleed through pens or markers to use in planners? So I have found that the Sharpie pen, the actual Sharpie pen, is magic in pretty much any planner. It does not bleed. It does not shadow. It's amazing. A lot of the gel pens as well, the Sharpie S Gel, the Pilot G2, the, what's the other one? The Pentel one, what's it called? I used to love that pen. My struggle with those is if the paper's not thick enough, it'll leave a ridging on the other side that I don't love, but they don't usually shadow. Am I still planning to Go Wild? Whenever it's going to be. I don't know what the plan is for Go Wild. They haven't updated us yet. Can you please share a synopsis of your current evening routine after going through moving and getting settled? Heidi, I am still working on my evening routine. It is not something that I am ready to share yet because it's still something that I'm trying to figure out, especially now that I'm in a new space. And the rooms, the order I had things in, depending on where the rooms are, has kind of changed a bit. So I'm not quite ready for that yet, but I will share as soon as I am. Would I do some kind of meetup at a planner conference? Amanda, 100%. That is one of the things I always loved at Go Wild. Cindy would do this with her patrons. And I absolutely loved it when she would gather them all together and take a picture. It was the best. So I will definitely do that. Go Wild is tough to find time because it is just jam-packed and there's just a lot going on. But I would love to do that. Yeah, I do love a lot of the philosophy I've read so far. I just am I'm kind of ready to jump in, I guess, is that. Oh, I'm so glad all of these friends are joining us live, even if you're joining live. Oh yeah, Pentel, no, not the Energel, the Ink Joy. It's not Pentel, it's Papermate. Papermate Ink Joy, that's the one I was trying to think of. Anyway. Do I have a journal or do you just do your morning pages? Just the morning pages. I don't have an additional journal. I barely do the morning pages as it is. It's like Cindy calls it, it's morning paragraph. It's not a full page. It's 3/4 of a small page. So I feel like it doesn't really count. Can you tell me what you're using to fill in progress in your power sheets? I use the Papermate Flare in my power sheets and it's the best. And then I just kind of shade it in. Yeah. I didn't know the Mildliners bled through. I do kind of miss when there was nothing on the back of the tending list too, because then you wouldn't care about the bleed through, but now they have that other page on the back. That's kind of frustrating. Ooh, any advice for on-call workers trying to establish routines and habits? Sometimes I wonder why I should even try since you don't have control of your schedule. So this is tough, and this is going to be me giving advice from not a personal experience, but my advice here would be to have your non-negotiables that fall around your routine. So pre-work, post-work, when you wake up, when you go to bed, even if that time moves, depending on when you get called in and when those things happen, have a routine that is this is something that I have to do. I would definitely not have a full-blown hour, 2-hour routine that could get derailed. I would have 5 minutes of things that I need to do these things to feel like myself or to feel like I am making progress. Again, even if it's only 5 minutes, it can still be valuable and still be helpful. And then all those other things can happen when you have other time and you can slot them in, if that makes sense. So I think having routines
is still very helpful. I would have smaller, much quicker, shorter routines that you are just the important pieces. And then B, your routines aren't necessarily going to happen at the same time every day. So I would anchor them to other things, whether that is work or sleep or meals, etc. Your mildliners bleed through everything. I think everybody's like weight of what they put down is different. And some people things bleed and some people don't, which is why that question of like something that does or doesn't bleed is really tough. I happen to have a very heavy hand. So if it doesn't bleed for me, I'm pretty sure it's not going to bleed for anybody else. But if it does bleed for me, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bleed for you, because again, I have a very heavy hand. So yeah, the zig dot pens, those definitely shadow in the power sheets. At least they do for me. My favorite self-care habits or things I do to support my mental health. I have definitely mentioned this before, but I'm a bath person. I love baths. I love bubble baths. So anytime that I can squeeze that in, it just makes me so happy and is my number one form of self-care. Letting myself just rest, giving myself a break. Like if I have 30 minutes, you don't need to go do something from like an extra 30 minutes. I don't need to go do something for my to-do list. I can sit and read or sit and watch TV or just talk to Sam or call my mom or whatever. There was one more I had in my head and now I forgot. Maybe it'll come to me. Lynn, can you share the benefits of joining your Patreon group or where to find that info? Absolutely. So I don't have all that info in a great central location. That is something that I'm actually working on. But the purpose of the Patreon group is to allow you to have some more accountability and to have a community of amazing women who are also working on their goals. And so what I love about the Patreon group is seeing other people support and hold other people accountable and lift them up towards achieving their goals. And so for the lowest tier, it is join us in the Facebook group. And there is a daily prompt every day, Monday through Friday, where I check in and ask you to check in with something with me. And sometimes it's for your benefit. Sometimes it's to give some ideas to other people in the group. We change them up every so often. And then just to post whenever you want and share and get ideas and support from everybody else. The next tier is the monthly Q&A session. So this is once a month, we get on Zoom and I love to see everybody's smiling faces, and you can ask any questions that you want about your specific goals, about goals in general, habits, routines, whatever it is that you're working on. I usually get a couple light bulb moments from those Q&A sessions that just blow my mind. It is definitely one of the things I look forward to every month. And then the last tier is texting with me. So I will check in with you very regularly on your goals, and we can work through things that you're trying to figure out, how to break down goals, how to manage it, how to work it into your life, whatever it is that you need in terms of getting things set up and then holding you accountable on an ongoing basis. So that's kind of the 30-second Reader's Digest version of the Patreon community. Please, please, please feel free to message me on Instagram. That's the best way to chat with me. And if you have any other questions or you want to just kind of hash out and see if it would be a good fit for you. Did Charlie get her cat tower thing yet? No, Sarah. And it's still on my list of things to get for her. But that girl, first off, I thought she was going to be in the window. Okay, that is where I thought hanging out on the windowsills was going to be her go-to spot. And eventually I'm going to put a AC unit in one of these windows. And so I thought the cat tower will be for Charlie when I take away the window and put the AC unit there. However, she does not spend her days at the window. She spends her days either on my dresser right here. And since Sam got a love seat in his office, she'll go there because she's a trader and she spends time in Sam's office. So I'm like, do you even need a cat tree? If those are the two places you're going to sleep all day, is either on my dresser or on Sam's couch, like, why do I need to get you a cat tree? So I don't know yet. To be determined. Did you say what planner I'm using this quarter? Melissa, do you mean for my work planner? I'm using the Lights Planner Action Daily. I don't know what it's called. Daily Layout? You are a night owl, so morning routine is not really your thing. Do you think doing the same things at night are beneficial? 100%. The
concept of a morning routine is about being in control of your morning from the time that you get up to the time that you owe somebody else something, and whether that's work or parenting or caretaking for somebody else, whatever it looks like. And so even if you are a night owl, I would still recommend a morning routine, even if that is just like you do the same thing just to get yourself ready for the day, and it's 5 minutes from the time that you wake up. It's just about not waking up frantic. For those of us who are morning people, it is also a great time to fit in all those other things, right? That's where I fit in journaling and I fit in reading, and I do those things because I'm a morning person. And so I'm way more likely to get up an hour earlier and do all those things in the morning rather than stay up an hour later. If you are a night owl and you can have the energy to do it later in the evening, absolutely, still 100% valuable. Thank you, Loretta. I appreciate that. What are my favorite recipes from Cook Once, Eat All Week? Week 19 is my favorite week in general, from the amount of time it takes to prep to the amount of time that it takes each day to the taste of the recipes. I can't think of any of my favorite actual recipes off the top of my head. If I looked at it, I would probably be able to figure it out. No, I have not used it yet since the move, because every weekend since the move, we've only been here. We've only had 2 weekends here. One was my birthday weekend, so I didn't have time to meal prep, pack, whatever. And then one was this past weekend, and the problem was I didn't have time to grocery shop. In my ideal setting, I am grocery shopping on Friday during the day and then prepping it on Saturday or Sunday. But because the second dose of the vaccine took me out, I did not go to Trader Joe's on Friday, and I'm not dealing with Trader Joe's on the weekend. So I went Monday. And so there wasn't time to like prep it. But this weekend, I'm back into the cookbook. Oh, I hope it came back. It doesn't look, that doesn't look bad on my end. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate your kind words. Yeah, I know. If I get her a cat tree, she probably will come back and love me and hang out with me all day, but I don't know. Kelly, this is a great question. How did you get into the habit of using a daily planner? Every time I try, I end up forgetting about it in the middle part of the week. So there are still times that I don't use it every day, first off. So if you miss days, like it's okay. You don't necessarily need to use it every day. I would say try to attach it to another routine. That's part of it too. Try to attach it to another routine and set it up, whether that's the night before or the morning of. Attach it to something else that you do every single day, and then that will make sure that you're setting it up. I did try this. I decided I didn't like it, but you could try, and it works a week in advance, but then you have each and every single day. Now I see the buffering, so I hope that it's okay now. But try setting up the whole week in advance and see if that works for you. Those would be my 2 biggest tips. And maybe a daily planner isn't for you. That might just be the situation where it just might not be the planner for you. Which meal companies, what meal order companies have you tried, and which one is your favorite? So I have tried Freshly, I think is what it's called. I have tried HelloFresh, and I've tried Home Chef. My favorite is Home Chef. I just think that they have the best, especially if you're looking for calorie conscious, and if you are trying to lose weight. Home Chef is definitely my favorite. I like the way that the recipe cards come. I like that they tell me like you should do this within 4 days or whatever of it arriving at your house. I just have found them to be the best, but that's my favorite. So, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. 1 pot for the whole week. So the concept of the Cook Once, Eat All Week cookbook that we're talking about, which I will link below when we're done here, is not the same meal every day for the entire week. It is, you cook a protein, a vegetable, and some kind of starch on one day, and then you convert those ingredients to 3 different meals throughout the week. And so it is a bunch of cooking and batching on one day, but then it tastes different throughout the week. I could not get behind cooking one thing on Sunday and then eating that thing for the rest of the week, but this cookbook has absolutely changed my life. What is your favorite genre of books? So I read a combination of things. I love personal growth books, and I love to read those in the morning. I focus on my nonfiction in the morning, and then I love to read fiction at night. My go-to fiction is either like dystopian, futuristic society, a la Hunger Games, Divergent, etc. Also very like teen world. I do love fantasy. I think that's just, I love Harry Potter. I've never really gotten into any other fantasy series though. I've tried, but I haven't been able to. So the other ones I read are just kind of like, I don't know what you would call like real life. And I prefer more current times. If we go back to like, you know, it's 80s, 90s, 70s, I don't like period. I don't want to go further back than that. Whew. Oh my gosh, it was already 6:55. So let's do our last question. What is one thing that you were going to do this week to make progress on your goals? It is toasty in here. It warmed up outside. That's why I have to buy an air conditioning unit, guys. It's hot in here. Although I don't know that I'll keep it on during the lives because it's going to be loud, but at least I will turn it on as soon as it is over. So let me know down in the comments, what is one thing that you're going to do this week? One small step that you can take to make progress on your goals. Oh, get back into your morning routine by waking up 10 minutes earlier. I love that one. Getting your second dose of the vaccine. Amanda, wishing you health and no side effects. I don't see any other comments besides Serena. I hope I'm saying that right. And Amanda. So I don't know if that is, oh, there we go. Here's a couple more. Aha. Okay. Oh, that is so fun, Susan. Oh my gosh. Finishing up your Disney scrapbook. I love that. Sticking to your workout routine. You can totally do it. Tracking everything at work. Yes, if we don't write it down, it didn't happen. I love, love, love that. So many things. Just a reminder that it doesn't take big leaps to make progress. You can still improve your life and achieve your goals one tiny, tiny step at a time. And even if it feels like it's taking forever, you're getting there. You're moving and you're making a difference. So thank you so much for hanging out with me live tonight. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up before you head out, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you are new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.